Hello everybody, the Great Dino Ranger here again, back with another review. Continuing with the Safari lineup, we have the Safari LTD Austroraptor. So this is a brand new species from Safari in general, and it's a really great one. It's a one that Mattel actually made back in their 2023 Dino Trackers line. So I already had a Jurassic Park one, and now I'm glad to finally have a scientifically accurate one in my model collection. And Austroraptor is a really interesting species of dromaeosaur because it's almost like it's seems to be more fish-based in terms of diet, which is something you don't really see a lot in other dromaeosaurs because they're all just, active carnivores hunting down other dinosaurs. And I'm sure Austroraptor did the same thing, but it, seemed to be more having a fish diet, which is pretty cool. Shows you just how diverse a lot of these different dromaeosaurs are. And obviously, I really liked how the Austroraptor was portrayed in Prehistoric Planet. I really liked that a lot. So this one is a 2024 release, so the same lineup as the Nanuqsaurus that I reviewed previously. And this one, really great. I love everything about this figure. Again, the sculpt-wise, this one seems to be the same usual sculpt that we've been getting with other Safari figures. The typical, I guess the sculptor who does these ones has been doing like these type of dinosaurs or the Safari figures for a long time. So I like that. Like I said, I like all the sculptors that sculpt all these figures. So this one's like more one of the traditional older ones. So I really like that too. Sculpt-wise, it's a really great one. It captures the look of Austroraptor very nicely. I love the slender, almost like Spinosaur snout for the skull. I love just the sculpt and the feathers. You can see the claws right there. An extremely good lengthy tail, which looks great. And yeah, I love the huge tail fan too. That looks really well done. As you can see here at the head, everything's sculpted very nicely from the eye to the nostril. The teeth are nicely sculpted as well. I like the feathered crest right here, and everything else feathered wise is all throughout the entire sculpt of the figure is really great. I like these larger, almost like dragon scaled pattern like feathers on the body. Looks really great, and you can see the sculpt here on the arms look really great. I like how it kind of fans down, just the classic feathered wings. And those feathers kind of go down all the way to the, basically, almost roughly to the ankle. And that continues even on the underside. So that looks really great as well. And that continues all the way down to, basically throughout the entire tail, both top and bottom. I like the way they're arranged. And even the finer lined sculpts in between each feather, giving it like that lifelike feathered look, and the texture is really well done. Even here on the smaller ones, and even here on the wings, they look really great. Up here on the head's more like the lined kind of feathered texture. You got a little bit more of the larger ones, but it kind of transitions into these larger ones, so look really great on both the inside and the outside. Nicely sculpted. And I like the fingers too, with the claws sticking out. And I like how this one's portrayed where basically the entire hand is covered in feathers, and the only thing exposed that's not feathers is the claws. I see a lot of that in a lot of paleo art, which is really cool because it's kind of a unique look. And I don't know, that might even be kind of how these raptors look. They don't have their whole hand exposed, but just the claws. And then up here, basically the gray part of the snout is also exposed skin, even maybe around the eye, unless that's just a different color for the feathers, but it's really cool. Even here on the legs, from the ankles all the way down to the foot, are just the classic scales sculpted that Safari loves to do. On the famous raptor-like feet, the dew claws nicely painted, the claws are nicely, the toes are nicely sculpted as well, and the same with the claws. Nice and sharp looking. And weirdly enough, I think Austroraptor also had very tiny killing claws, not as big as like Velociraptor or like Deinonychus, something like that, which might be more useful for holding down fish or just prey in general, maybe more for holding instead of slashing. But I think that's like the debate for a lot of other dromaeosaurs as well. I'm not too familiar with what's going on right there. But yeah, nice sculpts in the scales and the ridges on the toes as well. But yeah, really beautifully sculpted Austroraptor. Surprisingly, there isn't a whole lot of scales sculpted around the snout. It's just kind of like a rough, or maybe there is kind of a lot, yeah, very finer scales. It's just kind of, it's not that shown based on the paint. The paint just kind of looks like it's been kind of globbed on there, which kind of takes away from the sculpt. But from afar, you can definitely tell what they're trying to do. So I like that too. And I like how the snout colors are different than the ones you see like on the feet, because you kind of see that a lot in birds today. Color wise, the colors are beautiful. They're very similar to the Safari Ltd Sitapatty, which we'll compare in a second, which is really interesting. But displaying this guy like in a jungle environment next to a stream or a river, I think would just be perfect for toy photography. So yeah, I really like the colors. It remind me of a bird of paradise a little bit, just more of the, just a really colorful bird. You got like this brownish yellowish for the head, and you even got a little bit there on the wings. Got like this lighter skin gray color around the eye, and then the eye is like red with a black pupil, makes it pop. You got some black for the top of the crest, and that's pretty much all the black feathering you got to the top of the crest, so it makes it stand out. The rest of the feathers, at least on the top side, are like this green color. It's pretty much white on the underside, except for here on the neck. The green kind of goes down all the way to the primary feathers on the arms right here. And then you got blue that outlines the edge of the wings right here on both sides, and then outlines the edges of the larger tail fan, which looks really great. It contrasts with the green very nicely. On the inside of the arms, though, they're white, so that's pretty cool. And you got like this white striping here on just the body portion. So you got a lot of stuff going on here paint-wise, and it works perfectly. And then you got, like I said, you got this lighter color for the snout, a white color for the teeth, and then a pink color for the inside of the mouth and the gums and all that. So really nice paint job, and just an overall really gorgeous dromaeosaur. I have to probably take pictures of this guy next to like water at some point this summer. So yeah, really fantastic Austroraptor. Comparison wise, we'll compare it with, well, I want to do this comparison first. Here is the Safari Ltd, let's see, what year is this one? 2019 Sitapatty. And as you can see, they are almost identical in terms of colors. So, I mean, the colors are pretty cool here. They're pretty much almost identical. Might be different, you know, variations in tone or different shades of one color. But yeah, they're very similar. Very similar. But yeah, they look good together though. Two different species having the same color scheme. So that's really cool. So yeah, that's one comparison I wanted to get done. Sitapatty is a great figure, by the way. If any of you guys have it or don't have it, I mean, it's a really great one. And then we'll just compare it with just a few other dromaeosaurs. This is not all of them that Safari's done. I just picked up just two random ones off my shelf that were easy to get to. Here we got the, I think this is 2017. Yep, the 2017 Velociraptor. And this one is great. This is one of the best Velociraptors I have that's not Jurassic Park in my collection. And they look really great. Feathered raptors are just so cool to have in figure form. They're just cool in general. So yeah, these two look really great. And then we have the Austroraptor, which I am in love with this figure. I love Austroraptor in general, but this figure is just outstanding. And as you can see, they look really good together with the amount of feathering and just the way the feathers look. It just looks great on this one. And I think Austroraptor was actually a pretty large dromaeosaur as well, so definitely much bigger than Deinonychus and Velociraptor. I'm not sure if it was just as big or smaller than Austroraptor, but I'll have to look into that. But yeah, they're really cool there together. So everyone, that's pretty much all I have left to say for the Safari Ltd Austroraptor. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I recommend this figure if you guys don't have it. Let me know in the comments how you like these figures. I guess that goes for any of my videos. Leave a comment if you want. Just tell me what you think about the figure. But yeah, really great one. So hope you guys enjoyed this review. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again for the next video.